It's the weekend. Welcome to Mass United Insurance's Line and Length. It's a cricket program where we look at the sport not only in the region but internationally as well. I'm Barry Wilkinson. Well, what a week it has been. West Indies Players Association are up against the players and the players are up against WIPA. Yes, it's a big internal wrangling that has caused a big fracture again in West Indies cricket. On today's program, a former secretary of the West Indies Cricket Board breaks down just what will have to happen if these two entities are to get back together again. Plus, we talk about the player franchise and all the teams who did not pick the players that we expected them to. It's all up ahead on Massey United Insurance's Line and Net.
Across the Caribbean, more people are placing their trust in Massey United Insurance for the protection of the things that are important to them, their homes, businesses, and their prized possessions. That's because Massey United Insurance offers excellent general insurance coverage to help you manage whatever life sends your way. Our cadre of well-reputed agencies and trained insurance professionals are always ready to provide you with sound advice and prompt service. Choose the security and sound strength that is Massey United Insurance.
I live cool, I live fresh, I live life without the stress. Every day I feel my best, I live cool with Lima Call. Feel the energy, feel the breeze, I feel like doing as I please. Relaxation comes with these, I live cool with Lima Call.
Live cool with Lima Call and feel the freshness of a breeze in a bottle. Lima Call is trusted the world over and gives that easy, breezy Caribbean feel to all.
Every day I feel my best, I live cool with Lima Call.
So welcome back to the program. The biggest talking point this week has been about the big fight between the West Indies Players Association and, of course, the players themselves. Usually, it's the WICB versus WIPA. But let me wheel and bring you back to the top, because it was on February the 1st that Wavel Hines, president of WIPA, at an AGM, spoke with the players and they agreed that they were going to take to the board a number of negotiations and sign a memorandum of understanding in a collective bargaining agreement. That was done about just under a month ago, right here in Barbados at the Accra Beach Hotel. Lots of handshakes, lots of smiles. Everyone thought, finally, WIPA and the board are agreeing. Not. Because Dwayne Bravo, on the eve of the first One International, got very angry with the president of WIPA. And these are a number of reasons why he was angry. We just flipped through them because there were about 10 or 12 reasons. And it basically is all about them getting less money and the West Indies Players Association making a bigger deal overall with the West Indies Cricket Board. So that deal is signed and done. And Dwayne Bravo then wrote a very lengthy letter on the eve of that ODI to the president, asking for a number of things to be explained, or else they were going to strike. There was no strike, but they played on the protest. And then the day after, Wavel Hines, he returned the favor by writing a letter back to Dwayne Bravo. And the saga is just continuing and boiling and boiling. Now, luckily, in Barbados, we have our co-host Andrew Seeley, who is a former secretary of the West Indies Cricket Board. Andrew, talk me through this process. What will happen here now? How can this matter be solved in a way that it would not infringe on any legal capacities?
Well, certainly, Barry, what I think is it's perhaps the first time we have this strange occurrence, because in reality we have the president of WIPA and his executive on the one hand, and we have the current players on the other hand, led by the one-day international captain Dwayne Bravo, and seemingly having the support of all the other members of the squad who are currently in India for the one-day series. So it's a truly unique situation, and I think one difficult to unravel, because Bravo and his teammates have suggested that they want nothing to do with WIPA at this stage, which is a far departure from what had occurred previously when I was on board, because the players were usually united very strongly behind WIPA. But we have a situation now where they're stepping out on their own, suggesting to the board, in fact, not to negotiate with WIPA on their behalf. So this is a brand new departure. So it's really, as they would say, it's new territory.
Now, an agreement has been signed. Can that agreement be changed?
Well, I think they'll have to have a new agreement. I don't know that you can change an agreement. There will have to be a new agreement.
That's what actually what it really meant. But can that happen?
Well, I guess it can happen, but I don't know how possible it would be for it to happen, given all that has to take place within the next 3 to 4 months. Because the reality is we are in India now. the Test Series follows, and then we go to South Africa, and then after South Africa is the World Cup. In the meantime, some of the changes in the original contract that they're requesting will impact on the players who are going to take part in the brand new West Indies Professional Cricket League, which is scheduled to start next month, as we all know, because the money has changed now in order to support this West Indies Professional League. So that there we have the numerous anomalies that exist.
When you look at what the players are asking of the West Indies Players Association president, when you look at their grouses, when you look at the things that they're questioning, do you think that it is reasonable of them to make these demands and make these questions known publicly?
Well, it's kind of ironic because one would have thought, or I expected that there would have been some kind of discussion. I can't imagine that there would have been an AGM of the West Indies Players Association and the questions about money would not have been discussed. Because as far as I'm aware, that's the first question that's discussed and then you move to the other topics. But when they say that 75%, there's been a 75% cut, I can't imagine that Hines was able to get that past the entire body of WIPA. That sounds very strange to me. So I think there's obviously something more in the mortar than the pestle at the moment.
Well, Wavell Hines has made a response on Thursday. He said, while I'm willing to concede that best practices may not have been observed by not sharing the document with any but a small group of our members, I cannot agree with your above assertions that this has been the common practice between previous WIPA representatives and the players, or that players have previously been given the opportunity to consider the document, which is the MOU, and approve it before it was consigned and consistent with best practice. Now, he also said that he believes Dwayne Bravo is forgetting where he comes from. So there's a personal kind of attack and a personal sense that's coming out. That's not good.
No, it certainly isn't. And the reality is that Dwayne Bravo perhaps started it when he suggested that there was a significant conflict of interest because he was suggesting that Wavell Hines is wearing far too many hats. But when the elections for WIPA's presidency was held, all the players were allowed to vote. This is, I mean, you know, democracy is one of the strangest things in the world because people have an opportunity to vote, and immediately after the vote, there's a problem.
Now, we're not short of emails this week for sure. Let's have a look at some of them. Mark Liebert from St. Kitts writes, I cannot understand why the West Indies players even deserve a raise or why they are fighting for one. I think the best thing to do is to put them on a pay-performance basis. And that's Mark Liebert in St. Kitts. People have been suggesting they should be on a pay-performance basis a long time ago.
I think they have been, and but like anything else, I think both sides would have to agree. And clearly the West Indies Players Association and the players themselves would not agree. But by the same token, while not attempting to defend the players, I'd wanted to suggest that a 75% cut in salary cannot be on for anybody at any stage.
All right, let's look at this next email. Mr. Hines has done the right thing. If you seek the opinions of too many players in the team, then you would never sign an MOU. I don't see why the players are angry with him in such a standoff. He has represented them without any WICB controversy so far. Pauline Richardson from Jamaica, Jamaicans defending Wavell Hines.
Together. But the thing is that we have viewed Wavell Hines, or Wavell Hines has been viewed as one of the most level-headed individuals ever to play for the West Indies, and in fact to take charge of West Indies cricket at the level of player administration. We certainly don't want to go back to the days when there was controversy on top of controversy. There was quote-unquote fights within the boardroom between officials, people walking out of meetings, nothing ever being agreed to. I certainly don't think we want to go back to that at this stage.
All right, another email comes in from Barbados. Peter Clark writes, what do you expect? This whole thing is about insularity. It is now Trinidadians versus Jamaica. When will this end? Peter Clark of Barbados. Of course, I think he's referring to the fact that Dwayne Bravo is from Trinidad and Wavell Hines is from Jamaica. The past president, Didinath Ramnarine, he is, of course, from Trinidad and Tobago. And interestingly enough, Wavell Hines, in his letter, made a reference to that without calling Ramnarine's name. He said Bravo didn't have a problem with conflicts of interest when the previous CEO sat on the board, and that was in 2006. So it is getting personal. It's the running story. It's ongoing. We're going to continue to monitor what's happening with WIPA and the players, and not WICB and WIPA, as has been customary. When we come back, though, on Massey United Insurance's Line and Length, we're going to talk some more cricket and look at some of the exciting stuff that Marlon Samuels has been exuding.
Across the Caribbean, more people are placing their trust in Massey United Insurance for the protection of the things that are important to them, their homes, businesses, and their prized possessions. That's because Massey United Insurance offers excellent general insurance coverage to help you manage whatever life sends your way. Our cadre of well-reputed agencies and trained insurance professionals are always ready to provide you with sound advice and prompt service. Choose the security and sound strength that is Massey United Insurance.
I live cool, I live fresh, I live life without the stress. Every day I feel my best, I live cool with Lima Call. Feel the energy, feel the breeze, I feel like doing as I please. Relaxation comes with these, I live cool with Lima Call.
Live cool with Limacol and feel the freshness of a breeze in a bottle. Limacol is trusted the world over and gives that easy, breezy Caribbean feel to all.
Every day I feel my best, I live cool with Lima Call.
So the second One International was scheduled to be played Saturday today. But of course, let's rewind to that first One International and look at the majestic form of Marlon Samuels. Now, Marlon Samuels is such an enigma in cricket because when he first came to play for the West Indies, there was natural talent. Steve Waugh is well documented, thought that he was going to be the next hottest thing in West Indies cricket. But that was not to be until perhaps 2012 when he resurrected his career after that ban and had one of the best years that a West Indies cricketer has had. Then there was injuries again and it went all downhill. He was dropped this year. But that century was so majestic. People in India wrote about it, of course, after seeing it against the Indians. And everyone has been talking about it. What makes Marlon Samuels such a special cricketer, Andrew?
Well, he's very special, Barry. We used to say this about my favorite batsman, Lawrence Rowe. Very, very special. But you never know when they're going to deliver. They're so special that you never know when they're going to deliver.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But when Marlon Samuels is in flow, it was outstanding. I watched Dhoni look at Samuels bat and probably said to himself, I would love this guy to be batting at number 4 for me on the Indian team. That's what I thought when I saw
Or
Dhoni.
for the Chennai Super Kings.
Oh, well, he was there already.
Yeah.
But once again, based on form, they got rid of him because, the people in the IPL don't waste any time.
Yeah,
so they got rid of
played for
Samuels.
a franchise that got folded.
And that was the end of that. Yeah. So, but this is it. Samuels is an enigma. Clive Lloyd has resurrected him, and Clive Lloyd believes he will deliver. Well, we know he usually delivers in India. I guess the acid test will be when we go to South Africa.
Now, overall, people were worried about the team striking in India. I wasn't worried for 1 minute because when you look at it, they're playing in their office. You look at the top of the team.
Oh, yeah.
Dwayne Smith plays for
and he
Chennai
batted
Super
very
Kings.
well. Batted very well. Dwayne Bravo
plays for Chennai Super Kings. Andrew Russell plays for Kolkata Knight Riders. Darren Sammy plays for Sun Risers.
Mumbai Indians.
Pollard plays for Mumbai.
Lendl Simmons played for Mumbai Indians.
The Indians pay the salaries of those guys. They're not going to boycott in India. Perhaps if it was in Zimbabwe, yes. The support that the Indians, you think, would have given those West Indies players and the support that the Indian fans would have been assisting them, because they're all Indians now when you look at it.
No, they're all so well known, and you could see in the crowd the individual team supporters going for Dwayne Smith. Obviously disappointed Lendl Simmons was injured. Dwayne Bravo at the top of the order. We never know what Dwayne Bravo is going to do next, do we, Barry? I mean, he opened the innings, which was really a strange move. But also bear in mind that, Ravi Rampal is also part of the setup. Yeah. So they were at home, and at home in Kochi on a pitch which guarantees to give you runs. And certainly what I want to talk a bit about, though, is how good we bowled. Because I think Kochi is a pitch that usually gives you a lot of runs, and we delivered with 300 plus. But the Indians were put on the back foot.
But the highest chase at Kochi has been 304.
Right, 304. But it's a good batting pitch.
Very good, yeah.
So for us, I think to me that was perhaps the one thing which I really appreciated, that we were able to restrict India to under 200 on a very good batting pitch.
All right, superb stuff. We're going to continue to monitor that series. Come next week, we'll be able to look back at the first 4 One Internationals in the series. When we come back, though, the player draft that the West Indies Cricket Board held here in Barbados was big news on Monday. Only 2 players, though, went to other teams. Ramnaresh Sarwan to Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, and Barbadian Raymond Reefer to the Ghana side. When we come back, Andrew Seeley spoke to a number of the coaches and the selectors about how they felt about the player draft. When we come back on Massey United Insurance's Line and Length. Good. And I don't have to do intros.
Across the Caribbean, more people are placing their trust in Massey United Insurance for the protection of the things that are important to them, their homes, businesses, and their prized possessions. That's because Massey United Insurance offers excellent general insurance coverage to help you manage whatever life sends your way. Our cadre of well-reputed agencies and trained insurance professionals are always ready to provide you with sound advice and prompt service. Choose the security and sound strength that is Massey United Insurance.
I live cool, I live fresh, I live life without the stress. Every day I feel my best, I live cool with Lima Call. Feel the energy, feel the breeze, I feel like doing as I please. Relaxation comes with these, I live cool with Lima Call.
Live cool with Limacol and feel the freshness of a breeze in a bottle. Limacol is trusted the world over and gives that easy, breezy Caribbean feel to all.
Every day I feel my best, I live cool with Lima Call.
Okay, and welcome back to Massey United Insurance's Line and Line. And with me, Gus Logie. Gus, Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, they've come up with their squad. Surprising pick, actually. Ramires SR1 for some people. Your thoughts?
Well, I wouldn't if it's surprising at all. I think once we saw his name in the draft, we felt here's an experienced player who have done it all. We recognize that in Trinidad and Tobago we've had a lot of young players, talented young players who just need that little push over the edge to get going, and we felt someone like Ramires will certainly lend that support to the guys. Taking into consideration as well, we have many of our players involved with the West Indies tours, whether it's in India, South Africa, so they'll be away from national duties. So we needed someone there to help us at least with the young players.
Gus, you're back in charge of Trinidad and Tobago's cricket after a hiatus of a couple of years. Are you happy about being in charge once more?
Well, I'm happy to be involved, but I know about the charge.
Yeah, well,
but certainly
in charge
involved.
of the coaching.
Certainly involved. I think it's always been, being involved, in a ad hoc manner. I think whenever I'm home, I do work with some of the youngsters. So I've had an affiliation with Trinidad and Tobago cricket over the years. So being involved at this level is certainly encouraging. I think it's rewarding at this point in time when I see the amount of talented players coming through, and I'm really looking forward to the opportunity this season to work with them and to see them, bear fruit as far as their performances are concerned.
With me, Ian Allen, the coach of the Windward Islands team. Ian, a couple of struggles for the Windward Islands recently, but the new draft has come in, but you've stuck with the players that you know. Are you happy with the decisions you've made?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think I'm pretty happy with the decision that we have made. I think we look at the whole franchise business and the whole setup of the Windward cricket team, over the years, and we have made some strides. We have done well over the years in terms of the 40 tournament, the Super 50 and the then 2020 tournament. So we felt it was just fitting to reward the players who would have taken Windwards from one level to the next and give them another opportunity to continue that.
How do you see this new format, an extended home and away season, plus the Nagico Super 50 with a break for Christmas? How do you see the season? Certainly extended. A lot of work for you.
Yeah, it's a lot of work for me, for sure. But I think when you look at it in a long-term basis, I think it will benefit everybody. Over the years, I personally felt that we weren't playing enough cricket to compete with the outside international teams, and this, 2 rounds and this Super 50 will obviously give the players an opportunity to get some cricket under their belt and stuff, and continue to prove themselves that they're good enough to compete at the international level. I just hope that they take this opportunity with both hands and make the best of it.
They've been called the whipping boys of regional cricket for the past couple of years, and Ridley, you have been in charge for a couple of seasons now. You haven't taken the opportunity in this draft to get any new players. Many are asking why.
I think that in the leewards we have a lot of talented players, but we think about getting a few overseas players, yes, to strengthen our batting, because we look at that area. But the players that we looked at, they were already been selected, so we have to go back to what we had and what we have, and hopefully try and improve on these guys.
So what are you going to do? I mean, it's obviously disheartening for someone like you who's played in a team that was very successful when you played for the Leeward Islands. How does it feel coaching a team that's struggling so much?
It's quite difficult, at times you wonder what's next to do, but my faith is in God, and I know that things will change. I'm working hard with these players, and I know once we have the right mechanism in place, these players want to do well. I think in a not too distant future, we'll have good players coming from the leewards.
We have seen some good young players coming out of the under-19 tournament, but they don't seem able to move on to the senior level.
Well, that is so true. I think that when most of these players leave under-19, like they vanish, I think that we need in the leewards to have an under-23, so we keep these players playing cricket, so they would be the background for the leeward and senior team. And I think that's the direction we need to look, because we have a lot of talented players, as I said before, and we need to harness this talent.
How do you see the new franchise system and the extended tournament, extended 4-day home and away, as well as linking in the Nagico Super 50? A good plan for West Indies cricket?
Honestly, I think so. From the start, when I heard about it, I get excited, because I know we in the West Indies need to play a lot more cricket. And now that we're doubling up, instead of playing one round, we're playing 2 rounds now. It means it gives the players a lot more opportunity, to develop their game. Some guys who might not get to score a bit in the first opportunity have another chance to really prove their worth. And I think that it's a step in the right direction, and I hope that it can only get better from here.
With me is Isan Crandon. He's the coach of the Ghana national team at the draft here at Aqua Beach Hotel. Isan, you thought it went well?
Yeah, I think things went well for us. We got a combination we were looking at. Some very experienced players with young guys working for us there. We think we have a good franchise setup here for this tournament, and we're looking forward to put things in place in terms of getting the guys together early, start our training session, our camps, and do well in this tournament coming up.
Well, certainly, perhaps the biggest surprise of all is that the Ghana franchise did not opt for Ramno SR1. Some people might be a little surprised at that.
Yeah, some people might be surprised of that. But we came up with our squad. We know Ronnie, a very experienced player, talented, and he has a lot of experience. I think the case was in terms of people looking at Sarwan to know if he was going to be ready and stuff. From review feedback I was getting from the chairman and stuff, and we went away.
Roland Holder, Cricket Operations Manager from West Indies Cricket Board. Roland, how did the first major step in the franchise system was taken today, or should I say maybe the final step? How did it go for you?
Well, I thought certainly for the WICB it went very smoothly. There were no technical issues, there were no operational issues. We, of course, had a pre-event briefing with the selectors and the head coaches, so any challenges or potential challenges would have been ironed out there. So we had allocated 3 minutes per selection during the draft. In every case it took less than 10 seconds, so it shows that certainly the work that went into it paid off, and that the franchises came well prepared.
Are you disappointed, or do you think WICB were disappointed that more opportunities weren't taken by some franchises to expose other players?
Well, Andrew, it's the first year of such a system. It's new to everyone. So from the point of view of some were taken up, I think that is a start. Gradually, as it gets bigger, as it gets better, as people understand it more, I'm sure that more opportunities will be given to the other persons.
All right, in terms of the whole logistics, it could possibly be a logistical nightmare. Speaking from what I know used to happen before in terms of regional cricket, it's now back-to-back seasons, home and away, and also the Nagico Super 50. How are you looking forward to all the planning for that?
Well, planning doesn't ever stop. We are constantly working on it. We also have teams away as well, and that planning has to be done. So basically it'll be a pretty busy season for us, and once we keep planning and try to work with all the parties involved, we should come out well on top.
Are you looking forward to this franchise system creating the opportunities which we hope for in terms of development of West Indies cricket?
Andrew, I'm a West Indian, I'm a former cricketer, and certainly anything for the development of West Indies cricket, I am all for. So I am hopeful that this will be the launching pad for great things to come.
That's Roland Holder, Cricket Operations Manager, West Indies Cricket Board.
So thank you so much, Andrew Seeley. That's it for another week. Keep the emails coming. cricket@lineandlength.net or on Twitter @linelength. I'm Barry Wilkinson. Bye-bye for now.